We are now recording. Our purpose is to explore creative thinking warm-ups. I invited Bruce to come and share this longer format of creative thinking warm-ups because he did a 20-minute teaser during the New Rules for Work symposium we held in January. And it was totally fun. And I'm like, we need more of these. And then he'd show these slides where he's like, and here are 57 other really cool things to do. And I'm like, come on. We need to try some of those. So we're scheduled for 60 minutes. Given that we're 8 minutes in, we'll see how that works. But recording, and we would love, of course, your feedback for Bruce at some point. So if you are so willing, go ahead and open the feedback link now so that you're ready and prepared to give that at the time that works for you. Thank you so much, Bruce.
Absolutely, and thank you. And thank you for dealing with my technical issues. I'm actually still rebooting my computer. I don't know what's wrong with it. Hopefully not much. I'm talking to you through my iPhone, so I apologize. But this session is supposed to be about giving you some ideas, and I would like to hear some from you as well for warming up a group when you're doing ideation. Now, the way I view facilitation is, as a facilitator, I'm in charge of two operations. One is making decisions, helping a group make decisions or groups make decisions. And the other is generating ideas. So that's basically what I do as a meeting facilitator is to do that. And what I like to do is I actually had planned to find out from you what you hope to gain from this session. But I'm going to make an assumption, since we're 8 minutes or 10 minutes now out, that what you want to gain is some warm-ups so you could get people ready for ideation. Is that true? Raise your hand. I could see 6 of you. I don't know. Are there more than 6 of you?
No, we have 9. We have 9.
We have 9. Okay.
Yeah, 3 invisible people.
Okay. That's great. So let me start out with some rules of engagement, if you will. We're going to be playing a game. This is going to be, I'm going to need some help from you, Elise, since I'm on my phone. And I love everybody to play with all of these games I'm going to show you. These are some of my favorite ones. I got hundreds of games. My problem is narrowing it down as to what would be good for you guys to learn about. I don't know if any of you know any warm-ups at all, but it's really important to do a warm-up before you have people generate ideas, to get them ready and greased up, because we usually think more convergently. All the questions that we get approached with are convergent. So warm-ups are really important in that regard. I think my computer's back. But anyways, I'm going to get you started with an exercise before I try to get it back in. But the rules that I want to do, when it's your turn, then you can pass. I call it the rule of Passover. And it starts with 4 questions. But you could just simply say pass. And interrupt me anytime if you have a question. Raise your hand. I'll try to stop. From what I could see at this point, I've only seen 6 of you, but I'm about to get started. And also, I'd love to hear at the end, if we have time, some exercises that you have, some warm-ups you have. So here's my first exercise. I would like to do. This is my classic one. I say it's my classic one because I do it all the time. And then I'm going to show you a variation of it. And I call this, what the heck is it? I used to, when I was a lot younger, call it, what the hell is it? But I figured that doesn't quite work for the corporate audience, at least back 40 years ago. So I call it, what the heck is it? And you get an object that is not so familiar to you or the group. And I got this object here, right here. And our goal is, and at least if you could call on people, we'll do it this way for now. Call on people one at a time, just randomly, and tell us real quick, what do you think this object is? And one I want to give you an example of for example, what this is actually a puppet head of a duck. Quack, 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 quack. I don't know if you can see this well. Yeah, there we go.
Bruce, can you turn off your background blur?
Oh,
now we can
it'll
see
take
it.
me some time. On my iPhone, I'm not conversant using my iPhone too.
It's showing now. It just has to be on your body.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we've got enough to run with that. We can run with what the heck that is, and then maybe while we're talking about what your thingy-mabobber is, you can switch to your computer.
Welcome, that's great.
Welcome, Trisha. Welcome, John. Everybody.
Are we all supposed to do the same? Like get something and ask people to guess what it is?
No. What you're doing is actually telling us what this object is.
Oh.
Okay. So let's start with Elise.
It is I wasn't prepared to answer the question. It's a way to hold plants together. It's a plant stake. And I will pass it to Timothy.
Oh, well, this is actually pretty good because I once had the opportunity to purchase one of these on a trip to Taiwan, and they use it to open up dumplings.
Timothy passes it to Laura.
It's a noodle separator. And I'm going to pass it to Matt.
Oh, it's a senior's chopstick. Oh, how do I pass it on to somebody else? I'm not sure.
Just name somebody who hasn't talked yet.
Oh, I don't see. Oh, Nancy, did you do it yet?
No.
Okay.
I think it's, thanks, Matt. I think it's something that you'd pick up, something that you don't want your hands to touch, like something really gross, like dirty rags from a pile or something. And I will pass it to John. Have you gone yet?
No, hi everyone.
Hi, John.
Maybe it's a giant clothes picker. I'll pass to Vanessa.
And Vanessa, if you're here, you're muted. Going in 3, 2, 1. Katie, you're up.
I've seen this used before as a billows for candles. When your candle starts going out, you can use it in quick succession to get more air into the candle flame. And I will pass it to Maha.
And I'm just going to make something up here. It's a torture device to pinch people.
Little tiny tortures.
I would pass it on to Trisha if she's here. Or Jamie if they're here.
Jamie's here. I'm going to say it has something to do with weaving with a loom. And at least name a name because I'm seeing just one face right now.
So Vanessa and Trisha were unresponsive, and Joanne, welcome. You're brand new to the group and probably doesn't know what we're doing. So welcome. All right.
Did everybody have a chance?
I think everybody who was ready to play had a chance.
Okay, so let's do this. This is one exercise, but I often have a group do it again. It's usually the second time is when you're really stretching your creativity. But we're not going to do that because my purpose here is actually to show you other games. Unfortunately, I still can't seem to get my Zoom up. But it will eventually. I'm going to put you onto another game. We'll play it exactly the same way. Remember, you could pass. This is a variation of the what the heck is it? You may think, well, where am I going to get one of these things? By the way, I got this in a drafting store. It holds paper. But you could use any kind of object. For example, see, I got to figure out where the camera is for this. There is a ball, tennis ball here. So the question here is if you were an alien and never seen a ball before, what do you think it could be? So we'll go around and answer that question. And let me give you an example for this. You know what this is? It's actually a device. I think this is a device. I'm an alien. I get into the picture of or the essence of being an alien, and I've never seen this before. I think this is a communication device that indicates that I am close to the leader. All right, who's next? Let me pick one I could see. Laura.
I think it is an energy pellet that will fuel our engine. And I'm going to pass this over to Jamie.
Okay, so Jamie thinks it might be something we eat.
Joanne.
Pass it to someone.
Thank you, Elise.
I just came in on this and I love this idea. Bruce, I think it's an egg of some sort. This is how we reproduce.
Recording in progress.
All
Not
right,
how we reproduce, how the culture reproduces, right? And
Joanne, who would you like to? Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, please.
No, please. Actually, I was just going to say the same thing. Who would you like to pick?
How about John Cornwell?
Oh, okay. I'm not sure I've got another idea. I'll pass somebody else. Trisha, maybe?
Pass, yeah.
Trisha's not playing. She can only listen. So I put stars by the people who are non-responsive.
Oh, okay.
Great, thank you.
Oh, Vanessa's back. Vanessa's ready to play. We'll unstar her.
Okay. I think it is a bar of, like a ball of soap. I think it's for washing. And I'm going to pass it to Elise. Or sorry, that was Elise. That's the presenter. Trisha. Oh, shoot. She can only listen. I can't see the list of everybody. I just see the chat.
Actually, I haven't gone. I'll go. Okay. I think it's a seed for a tree seed. And I will pass it to Timothy.
I was going to say a seed as well, but back on my home planet, this is actually used as part of our preparation style or preparation of a dish that we consume. And so I would actually try and use it for cooking. And I'm going to pass it on to Nancy. Have you gone yet?
I have not. Thank you, Timothy. I think I see this as some kind of a weapon if you throw it hard enough. So I'm going to go with weapon. Can you all raise your hand? Someone who has not gone yet? Katie.
I think this is a sharpening device that we use to sharpen animals' teeth. Only certain animals use it or chew on it, but I think it sharpens their teeth. And Ma, are you the last? Have you gone yet?
There's still me and then Matt. So
okay. Go ahead.
I'll go. It's a gem or a jewel that we use in wedding ceremonies. And Matt.
It's a light source. You know, if you spin it around, it starts to glow.
All right, we are complete.
All
Welcome,
right,
Bruce.
terrific. And I'm back. I'm back in my habitat. You know, I've gone through all of COVID, no problems at all. This call is spooked. Okay, so
I think Zoom did an update because I had a day like that yesterday.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay. Maybe that's what happened. Well, anyways, one thing I wanted to say, and I failed to say because I was a little off, given that I couldn't get on, is that you want to encourage people to think creatively. Just simply asking people to think creative, and that any idea is okay, and to defer judgment. Those are besides the pass rule. So this is true with most any of these exercises. So let's go to the next exercise that is in my mind, and that's a what if exercise. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call on you this time, just so there's no delay and we could go really quick. I'm going to come up with a what if. There are two variations of this that I use. What the first variation is, I will come up with a what if, and then we'll answer it. And again, if you don't have an answer immediately, just say pass. If you have it again, just raise your hand. So what would happen if tomorrow morning, after being asleep, it is completely dark out and it continues to be dark? What would happen if that happened? And I'm going to start with, in the order that I see you, Laura.
I would immediately get in touch with my family members and see if they were all right.
Nancy.
I would text or call someone to see if they're experiencing the same thing, because it could be my eyes or it could be my whole environment.
Great. Katie.
I would collect all of those little balls and keep them together to produce light.
Great. Maha. You're muted. Matt,
I
you're
would turn on my night vision. I don't need a device for that.
Matt. John, you're next.
I'd reach for my glasses first.
John.
I guess check the time. Maybe there's something going wrong with the time and I've misunderstood.
Great.
You know, thinking that it's later than it really is, something like that.
Terrific. Joanne, thank you. Joanne. Vanessa, you're next.
I would go in panic mode immediately. If I woke up and it was 10 o'clock in the morning and it was still pitch black out, I'd be in panic.
Great. Thanks. Vanessa. Vanessa's.
Yeah, no, I'm unmuted. Sorry.
Okay.
Just keep finding the mute button. I would go through my Armageddon checklist. Yeah.
Terrific. Jamie.
I would go back to sleep and hope that when I wake up the next time the sun would be out.
Elise.
I'd go buy all the glow in the dark paint I could get my hands on.
Mm-hmm. Great. All right. So here's another way to use that. So it gets people thinking about the future or consequences in a creative way. Another way to do it, or in addition to that, if you have time, have another person come up with a what if. So I might have, for example, Elise. By the way, if you don't have any sound in the background, I recommend you unmute yourself. So because we're going to be playing like this the rest of the half hour. So I would ask Elise to come up with a what if. So Elise, let's go one more time. Elise, come up with a what if.
What if you discovered that unicorns and Pegasus were real?
I would actually do a little dance. I would create a dance, and there would be dances, unicorn dances all over the place, and music. Laura.
I think I would make sure we had 100 of them in my backyard, and we had a huge festival, and we taught them tricks.
Nancy.
I was thinking, building on what Laura said, I would have the most amazing kids' birthday party anyone's ever seen.
Katie.
I would tell everyone I knew they were real from the beginning.
Maha.
I was going to say all the kids in the world will say, I told you so.
Definitely get out my camera and document it just in case they go away.
Done.
I think I'd have to start by looking up the meaning of them, to understand the context,
of unicorns.
And Pegasus. What's Pegasus? And what's unicorn? I don't know.
Joanne. Did Joanne? Oh, there you are.
I'm going with Laura. I was going to go out and buy a big piece of property and bring a whole bunch of them and hang out with them because I'm definitely a unicorn lover.
Great, John. Oh, no, you haven't heard from John.
Yeah.
You have. It's Jamie.
We have. Vanessa.
Yeah.
Well, there's also a theory that if you capture a unicorn, you get to take its magic. So, I'd be pulling together my trap, man.
Terrific, Jamie.
I would create a petting zoo and have a location where people can come visit and meet them.
Great, terrific. Now, in this game too, you can also encourage people to talk about what would change in the world, not so much like what's happening to you. You could do it either way or both. That's really up to you, but you can keep on going. You don't, with this many people, you don't want to actually have everybody come up with a what if. But you can get people into small groups, and I'm not going to, since time is limited right now, and my interest is to give you a bunch of games, we're not going to do it. But I think I will actually have someone help me out with this one activity. Does someone want to volunteer? Great, Nancy. I saw Nancy and Maha. Maybe the three of us could do that. I will say it. I will say what if, several what ifs, and then I'm going to say switch, and then Nancy's going to say several what ifs, and then Maha, then you'll say several what ifs, and then we'll be done. That's probably enough to give you a sense of the game. So what if my computer closed again? What if if all of us became best friends? What if I was just full of love? What if I gave into my dark side? What if time just seemed endless? What if time was too quick? Well, it actually is. So I'll stop there. Nancy, I'm going to give you 30 seconds for your what ifs.
What if our new currency was food? What if money didn't exist? What if all diseases were suddenly eradicated around the world? What if the ocean dried up? What if all of us had 3 legs and 2 wings? What if the world were suddenly 1/10 the size it is now.
Great. Thanks, Nancy. Maha.
What if we could fall in love with a new person every day? What if our babies could stay 1 week old forever? What if we could sleep on clouds? What if we could breathe underwater? What if we could create creatures in any shape or form we wanted and make them our pets? What if we could make anyone we like love us back? That's enough.
Terrific. So I'm going to ask Nancy, Maha, feedback from you. What did you experience when you did that?
I love this.
What did you loved it? Yeah. And what did you experience? Did the what ifs come easier as you were saying it?
They did for me. Because I had a little time to think of my first one while you were talking, Bruce. But then after I came up with a couple, it was easier. And then it became harder again because I thought, oh, wait, I kind of run out of ideas. So it was fun, but it was, it became easier as time went on and then hard as my ideas dried up.
I had the same thing.
What's that?
I was gonna say I had the same thing. I had one idea to start with that I kept thinking about until it was my turn, and then the others kept coming, and then I ran out.
Creativity is a practice. So this warm-up is a great practice warm-up to do it all the time. Do it with your friends. You could spend 2 minutes at a time, just keep on doing it. Now, you don't run, there's no such thing, Nancy, as running out of ideas. There, as Jimmy Durante said, there are a million of them. For you, there are a million. And you can take anything in your life as inspiration for it. But that's where the practice comes in. We're not used to doing that. And that's why this is a good warm-up for at least people who are somewhat used to being together. So that's a variation of the what if story, exercise rather. So now for something completely different, get a piece of paper. Everybody, I'm going to give you 20 seconds to get a piece of paper and a pen or a marker. Everybody have it? I'm just going to be, anybody need more time? All right. So what I'd like you to do is on that piece of paper is to write down or imitate this image. Put this image on your paper. All right. So now that you created that image, now what I would like you to do, if you're willing, is to create something out of this image. It could be something abstract. It could be just something that's representative. It could be anything you want, but you need to use that image. And I'm going to give you 30 seconds, not much time, to generate that, starting now. All right, pens down. This is the time we can share what you came up with. So, who would like to share first? Let's look at Nancy's first.
Oh, I thought we were all sharing at the same time. Sorry.
Oh, we can share at the same time. Absolutely. Yeah, let's do that. That'll save time. Oh, how wonderful images. Laura, I can't quite see yours because you're blurred.
I have to turn off my.
That's okay. Don't worry about doing that.
Wow, so creative.
Yeah, it's amazing what you, I mean, and this could be a metaphor. It's amazing how much you can get out of a squiggle. and we could do it again. We could do it again. But the thing is, again, it's an exercise for freeing up the mind and starting to look at possibilities. Oh, thank you, Jamie. All righty. So I'm going to show you a variation of this. The variation, and this is not as much fun per se. We're going to do the circle game. I think Joan Baez had a circle game, right?
Joni Mitchell.
Joni Mitchell. Oh, that's right. And I think Baez covered it. But yes, Joni wrote it. What I like you to do is you'll need another sheet of paper, or on the opposite side of that paper. I would like you to draw a circle on the upper left. I don't know if you can see that. Upper left, like that. All right. And then what I like you to do is create something out of that circle. And then I would like you to draw another circle right next to it and create something out of that. That's different. And then another circle and create something out of that. That is different again. And then create another one and create something out of that. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to actually do that. Right, do as many circles as you can and create different things out of it. What are your questions about what to do? All right, 30 seconds starting now. All right. Put your pens down like a GRE or an SAT or an MCAT. Okay, share what you came up with. Terrific. I'm going to look at Mahaz. You got the Earth, you got the sun. Oh, you're into planets. You got the ball, you got faces, different kinds of faces. I see a Martian over there. I see someone riding a bicycle and using multiple circles, which is great. So this is an exercise you could do on your own. It's not exactly a group type exercise, but it does the same thing. It gets you to start looking in different perspectives in different ways. So that's the circle game. Let's see. Here's another game, and I'm going to do the improvement game. I call this the mousetrap, and then the better net mousetrap. And the way this game works, this is another verbal game, or we could do this. Let's do it differently. Let's do this on chat. Does everybody have the use of chat at all? Okay. I'm not so sure about. Oh, great. Thank you, Jamie. So let's do this on chat. What I like you to do, without hitting return, write down the many ways. Hit return. It's okay. Hit return. There's no reason to do the cascade. I would like you to find ways you can improve your convenience store. Ways you can improve your convenience store. For example, maybe they give massages.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll do this for 30 seconds. Keep it coming. Do not stop at one.
Oh.
Mhm.
Big hug. All right, make sure you read what's up there. There's some really fun ones up there, and all of them were great indeed. So one thing I haven't been doing is debriefing each one of these. I don't know how much of a debrief they actually need, but I'll stop with this since we did it slightly differently. We did it as a cascade, not as a cascade, but on a chat. How was that for you? Did you enjoy it? Did you feel your mind expand as you read other people's? Did mine expand as you? I'm going to open it up.
Felt like a wish list, and then seeing other people's ideas gave me ideas. So I'm glad you didn't make us wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's classic brainstorming. That's the classic piggybacking. And I would argue practically every idea is a piggyback.
What's interesting is how some things were very similar to my ideas and others were just completely opposite, you know.
Completely opposite and completely different, right? Not just
some
opposite,
very
but
similar
also-
and some very different. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's great because it gets you to again look at different ways. It switches. So that's why this is a good warm-up. You could do this when you're in person as well. And just have people go around the circle. And you could even have go around several times, just like the what if. Let's see. So the next thing, which is kind of a classic Bruce activity, is a metaphor. So to do this, there are several ways. I actually have a background. Let's see, let me wait just one quick second. There it is. There's my background. You can use the background. I have cards that have the same thing on it, all these little objects. But since you guys don't have a card, you can see the background. You could use the background for this. What I like you to do is pick an object. It doesn't have to be in the background. It could be somewhere in the room, but this is what I ask you. Pick it randomly. So close your eyes and just put your hand all over the place and point to an object randomly. And I'm pointing at a window. All right. So here's the question, and you could come up with any questions. Here's a question I use very commonly when I'm with organizations, which is frequent. The question I ask is, how is your team like your object? And so I'm going to ask this: how is this group of people like your object? So let's do the point system of selection. So I'm going to ask someone to start, and then they, as we did before, ask someone else to give an answer. And again, the rule of you could change, you could pass is perfectly fine. So let's start with John. How is this group here like your object?
Oh my.
You can pass. We'll come back to
pass.
you.
Yeah, sure.
All right, but pick someone.
Maha.
Matt?
Maha.
So my object,
Oh, Maha.
my object is a colorful rainbow colored bag, and the group here is diverse like that, the colors of the bag.
Terrific. Pick someone, please.
Laura.
My object is a roll of packing tape, and our team sticks together. And let's see, Matt.
Yeah, I picked an object in the background, was an alarm clock. So our group is kind of alarming.
Pick someone, Matt.
Oh, that's right. How about Nancy?
I don't know if you can see this. It's a quartz object, very sharp at both ends. And I'd say we're colorful, like Maha said, and we have a lot of very sharp ideas, very sharp minds. I will pick Vanessa.
Oh, camera's over here. I picked my sticky notes pad, and there are a lot of us and a lot of great ideas that stick. And I'm going to pick Jane.
Okay. So I picked, and I can't show it. I'll just try to put my phone near something. It was a photograph frame. And so we keep things together. And at least pick a name for me, because I now can't see anything.
The Vanessa, did you go?
She went.
Mm-hmm. I
Elise?
think it's me. I think it's me and
Elise.
John,
Oh.
if John wants to re-go. So
Yeah, I can go now. Okay, thank you. Thanks for the patience. So I've got a cup here. If you can see cats there. And I think we all there's lots of cats where I live roaming around. And they all have their very unique characters, but somehow they also come together.
Terrific. And Elise.
So I pointed at a paper mache Frankenstein mask, which I think is
You got one of
paper
them
mache.
knocking around, eh?
Yeah,
Everybody has one in their office.
I need to catch up.
So it's paper mache is a melange of all kinds of things from everywhere put together into a different face, and I think that's kind of what we do when we come together. So
Great. Terrific. Thanks. So you could do that with anything, any subject at all. And you could go around twice if you like. You could also do it on chat if you're doing it virtually. And what I often do is when I do a lot of strategic planning processes. And what I do is I use this as an introduction to their organization, start thinking about the organization. So here's a variation of it's not a variation, it's a different game, but it's using objects. So in this case, you randomly pick two objects. I just went to my cards. These are, by the way, cards that came from a game that I invented called Sproing. It's a creativity springing game. I don't even know what these are. So this is a surprise to me. I got a car and I got some headphones. So the question I have for you guys in this game is, how is a car like headphones? So one way it's like headphones is that it keeps the sound in a car. When you go in a car, there's less sound from the outside. With headphones, it's not. So let's go around and we'll use the same method of pointing. And let's go with Nancy. And again, you could pass. How are a car and headphones what do they have in common?
They can both isolate you from other people.
Okay.
Pick someone.
I will say Laura.
They can take you someplace unusual and exciting. And I'm going to pick Jamie.
They're both mechanical. And I'm going to pick, I think, is there a John? I can't see names. So, John.
Yeah, there is. I think you can get lost in both of them. Vanessa?
I love your answer. That was great. I'm going to say that they can both be obnoxiously loud and pick Maha.
Maha left.
Oh,
So
rats.
we have Matt.
Matt.
I would say they're both comfortable. And I don't know who's left. Is there anybody?
Elise?
Elise?
They're both unnatural.
Oh, look at him.
Terrific. Great. I usually, by the way, when a group does something like this, I usually say, give yourselves a hand. Why I'm doing it through this exercise, I'm not sure, but give yourselves a hand nonetheless. All right, I'm going to end with one more, and then I like to do one small exercise, and then we could close because we've got 7 minutes according to my clock. Although I'm not sure about my technology today. And this is an I wish game. And you could use this on something that you truly wish around. So it could be around your family. You could do it with your family. I wish blank, blank, blank. But we're going to do it about whatever right now. So you can narrow this. And this is true with any of these, pretty much every one of these exercises that we've done. Except the many uses and what the heck is it. You can always narrow the scope of it. So, for example, I wish we could play games all day long. And so the next person goes after that. So, Elise, since you've been going last for all, I'm going to select you first.
I wish I could get 1 million things done and have 5 days a week free for playing. And I'll pass it to Matt.
Well, I wish people would play more at work. And I'll pass it on to Nancy.
I wish that we could create a truly level playing field, not just at work, but all across the world where no one was more advantaged than another. I will pick John.
I wish for a lot more love everywhere. To Laura.
I wish that phrase, you can't cure world hunger, was banished. And we really could.
Who's last? I mean, who's next? Who hasn't gone? Vanessa.
I wish I knew this stuff already and I was really, really good at it.
Terrific. Jamie?
Wow, everybody said great things. I wish, I'm kind of repeating, but I wish there were more love and less hate in the world.
Terrific. Great. All right. I have a lot more games. These are just things you could use. I recommend you use this before you work with a group to generate ideas for something. Whatever it is, make sure it's appropriate for whatever it is you're having them generate. If it's appropriate to this, think wild, then it's done. Then you don't need to find an appropriate one, perhaps. But find the exercise, the activity that works best for you. I'd be happy to talk to any one of you one-on-one. If you've got a particular gig you're working on or working with a group and you want some ideas around some warm-ups, ideation warm-ups. Like I say, I got 1 million of them. And I hope you had fun. That's the most important thing, is you have fun and you get people, juices going. But what I don't want to do is, last thing I want to do is learn, do, and hope. This is a classic Indian activity I use for much of my group work. Is tell us something you learned or something you're going to do different. or something you hope as a result of the work we did in the last, I guess, 50 minutes, or whatever that is, and we started. I learned that I want to do this more. Who's next?
This
Just
is Dan.
learned?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was just going to speak up. I learned that this has, we can make this applicable to many situations. And I hope to do it more often.
And I've learned many new techniques. I've used a lot of ideation techniques over and over. So these are all new for me, and I hope I can apply them all soon.
Terrific. Anyone else?
I think these would be a great counter to the post-lunch carbohydrate blues. If your group is all in one geographic area and they start right after lunch.
Yes.
I really like them because they're very interactive, and they really spark that creative thing. And I find sometimes it's hard to find icebreakers that don't make people roll their eyes and turn their mics and cameras off, or worse, leave the meeting because they don't want to participate in that. And I find like games and these little fun things are enlightening. They're not a drudgery. They're not something to dread. And I thank you for showing us some new ones.
Great. Matt.
Yeah, I hope that you get people that want to participate like this group does. You know, I find that it's really hard to get people started, and people are so closed in, they're afraid they're going to make a mistake or look foolish.
Yeah, you have to build, make it easy. And I never seem to have a problem. I work with lots of different groups. So don't be afraid to try it. And don't make sure people allow themselves, or you allow others to pass. That's an important piece. The other thing is that, just to speak to Vanessa in terms of warm-ups, generally I use 3 criteria for a good warm-up. It needs to be relevant. So these are relevant for ideation, all these warm-ups that we're doing. And some of them, not all, there are different kinds of ideations. So not all these are appropriate. The other criteria needs to be short. We ourselves only spent 30 seconds on each one of these. Well, 30 seconds to explain it and 30 seconds to do it. So it took about a minute. 4 or 5 minutes is actually a good timing for a warm up. And the other thing is that, and this goes with the second thing, is the last thing, the third thing is that it needs to be short. But in this case, with ideation warm-up, sometimes you may want to extend it. Any last comments? I am so sorry that my machinery did not work for the first 10 minutes or whatever that was, but we got it going. And I wish you guys have a creative day. Matt, did you have something you want to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I was doing some workshops in automotive where we had to come up with cost reductions and that. And what I had people do is I actually had them make things. So I had them make a bridge, but I gave them a limited amount of materials that they worked with, and each material had a cost to it. So the more materials they used, the more expensive the bridge was.
Mm-hmm.
But I was so surprised on how competitive they were and how people wanted to cheat. And there was a lot of how can I say, definition of what a bridge was. And when it was all done, you know, in the beginning, I thought, well, gosh, this is a huge failure. But in the end, when I did a summary, I said, oh, this sounds just like work. You know, we have we have people that don't agree, and we have people that want to shortcut the system, you know, and people don't have the same viewpoint on what the assignment is. So actually, it worked out pretty well.
A past associate of mine, Tiagi, that some of you might know, he used to say a great exercise is a good excuse for a great debrief. So you use something like that for a debrief to get into whatever it is. And that's
Yeah.
more extensive, the bridge building exercises, or a tower or whatever.
Yeah.
All righty. I think my time is up. Am I up, Elise?
You're up. You're up.
Am I
Thank
gonna
you so
expire?
much, Bruce. Thank you so much for sharing your time and all of your "what if we played more" in this way kind of prompting. So very cool. Thank you so much.
Great.
Right.
Thank you so much, Bruce.
When we do the recording, and I'll look and see if I can create chapter markers so we can jump around to rewatch the specific games more easily.
Great idea.
That should be ready within a weekish or so. And then you see in the chat the link for feedback and also to join us again next week. We're doing something perhaps maybe not quite so playful, but important. We're going to be talking about what to do when the process isn't working for somebody in the room. And
never happens.
Right. And one thing we've noticed is that people are becoming more comfortable being more vocal about that in a way that isn't necessarily conducive to group cohesion. So how do we help? So we'll be talking about that next week.
Sounds good.
Thanks so much, Bruce and Elise. Thank you. Nice to meet everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Participation.
Bye.